disasters can strike at any time. They each bring their own amount of devastation and repercussions. Some could lead to our extinction, or even a total collapse of society. While we can predict some of today's topics, they could still happen without warning. On today's episode, we cover the top 5 natural disasters that could happen tomorrow. Number 5. Mega tsunami. Tsunamis can be some of the most destructive and powerful disasters for us to face. They can ravage shorelines with destruction, unlike any other disaster. Imagine a wave with the height of a skyscraper, rushing towards you, at the speed of a fighter jet. The mega tsunami is real, and it could hit, at any time. These tsunamis are not triggered directly by earthquakes, like their smaller counterparts. They require a lot more force, and are triggered indirectly by quakes. The shaking of the ground during a quake can cause massive landslides. These slides hurtle millions of tons of debris into the ocean, and can cause a mega tsunami. Lituya Bay, Alaska, 1958. A 7.8 earthquake shook the region. This caused a massive landslide, hurtling 90 million tons of rock and debris into the bay. Eyewitness accounts described it as a chaotic and apocalyptic scene. There was intense shaking for several minutes, followed by an explosive boom. The boom was a glacier shattering, and the peak of the mountain crumbling into the bay. The wave reached a height of 1,700 feet, which is just over 200 feet taller than the Empire State Building. All wildlife and vegetation were stripped from 5 square miles of land that surrounds the bay. This mega tsunami could have been devastating to the coastlines if it had not been contained within the bay. Unfortunately, 5 people lost their lives during this event. In the past, there were certain regions of worry around the world. However, scientists have now concluded there are no threats to us today. Even so, we never know when this will happen, and it could happen tomorrow, anywhere in the world. Number 4. Cosmic airburst. Meteors generally pose little to no threat. They tend to burn upon entry of our atmosphere. However, in some instances, they can penetrate the atmosphere and explode mid-air, causing what is called a cosmic airburst, or a meteor airburst. The most notable is the 1908 Tunguska airburst. On the morning of June 30, 1908, in a remote region of the eastern Siberian taiga, a series of loud distant booms were heard by people in the area. The explosion was estimated at 10 megatons of power, or 500 times more powerful than the atomic bomb in Hiroshima, during World War II. It leveled an estimated 80 million trees, over an area of 830 square miles, and 3 possibly related deaths. On February 15, 2013, at approximately 9:20 a.m., a near-Earth asteroid, 66 feet in diameter, entered our atmosphere. It entered over the southern Ural region, in Russia. The meteor gave off a light that was briefly brighter than the sun. It was visible up to 60 miles away, and was observed over a wide area of the region, and in neighboring republics. Some witnesses also felt intense heat from the fireball. The object approached Earth undetected, before its atmospheric entry. Locals panicked as the explosion rang throughout the region. Approximately 1,500 people were injured seriously enough to seek medical attention. Most of the injuries were from broken glass, when windows shattered, as the shockwave arrived. At least 7,200 buildings, in 6 cities across the region were damaged by the explosion's shockwave. This could have been a much more devastating event. It could happen again, at any time, and anywhere on the planet. Number 3. Supervolcano. Volcanic eruptions occur at least 20 times a day. There are also 40 to 50 continuously active volcanoes around the world at any given time. Even on a smaller scale, a volcanic eruption can be devastating. However, a large-scale eruption could change our planet. When we think of supervolcanoes, Yellowstone instantly comes to mind. But the fact is, there are 31 contenders on our planet, 12 of which have a volcanic explosivity index of 8. As an example, the Mount St. Helens eruption of 1980 was a volcanic explosivity index of 5. It has been 27,000 years since the last supervolcano erupted. This occurred on New Zealand's North Island. Scientists believe Yellowstone will not have a super eruption in the near future. If Yellowstone were to erupt, it would be catastrophic to people in the area and the outlying ash fall areas. The possibility of a global ash cloud is very high, and it could last for years. If this did happen, global temperatures would drop by a few degrees. Similar to a nuclear winter, volcanic winter could occur, devastating harvests and ecosystems around the planet. There are many more dormant supervolcanoes, other than Yellowstone, that could erupt at any moment, without warning. One other volcano that holds concern for scientists is the Toba volcano in Sumatra. The Toba volcano erupted 74,000 years ago. Scientists theorize the event caused a global volcanic winter of 6 to 10 years, and possibly a 1,000-year-long cooling episode. Are we ready for something like this? Are the world governments prepared for a cataclysmic event of this scale? Even though some of these eruptions can be predicted, it is believed that a supervolcanic eruption could happen without warning and at any time. Number 2. Asteroid impact. The origin of this event begins in the asteroid belt that surrounds our solar system. It is home to at least 200 asteroids, large enough to wipe out almost all life on the planet. These killers are 100 kilometers in diameter, and are normally contained within the belt. However, once in a while, one of these killers is released from the field, and begins a new orbit. As this killer travels towards Earth, we have only a matter of time before impact. If it hit a major city, thousands of square miles around the city would be obliterated. The cloud of dust generated would cause a nuclear winter, in which temperatures would plummet worldwide. If the asteroid hits the ocean, water will be launched into the air, and a steam explosion will occur, worsening the impact. No matter where it hits, the devastation on the planet would be horrific, and it would be a planet killer. NASA's Planetary Defense Division has measures in place once an asteroid is detected, including tracking and evaluating any objects that pose a threat of impacting Earth. NASA has completed a historical mission called DART, the Double Asteroid Redirection Test. On September 26, 2022, NASA intentionally crashed into Dimorphos, the minor planet moon of the asteroid Didymos. On October 11, NASA declared DART a success, confirming it had shortened Dimorphos' orbital period around Didymos. This is one event we all think about. It is by far the most deadly. All we can hope is with early detection, something may be able to be done. Number 1. Solar flare. Solar flares are not usually a matter of concern. C-class and smaller flares are too weak to noticeably affect Earth. M-class flares can cause brief radio blackouts at the poles, and minor radiation storms that might endanger astronauts. However, X-class flares are 10 times the power of a C-class flare, and can disrupt entire communication systems, internet systems, and even power systems. If a major solar storm were to happen today, it could set back our civilization decades. In 1859, British astronomer Richard Carrington saw a blast of white light on the surface of the Sun. That blast, even today, is the largest solar storm ever recorded. It was linked with extraordinary auroras that were visible in the sky, near both the poles and the equator, everywhere from Canada to Australia. The enormous solar outburst also caused electrical disruptions from Paris to Boston, bringing down telegraph stations, and even causing fires within the equipment. In March of 1989, a massive solar flare hit the world, causing disruptions from the east coast of Canada to Russia. Quebec suffered a 9-hour blackout, and substantial communication blackouts occurred. The burst caused short-wave radio interference, including the disruption of radio signals from Europe into Russia. Even satellites, that were in polar orbit at the time, lost communication with the ground. It is predicted in 2025, we will see the largest ever recorded solar storm. These storms reach a violent peak every 11 years, when the Sun's magnetic poles reverse, and billions of tons of magnetically charged matter are expelled into the solar system. If it is larger than the 1859 storm, we will lose our entire internet and communication infrastructure, including cell phones. Satellites will also be affected. It has been said by some that it could set us back 200 years, however a more realistic look at it would be 2 to 20 years. This event would change our planet significantly. A world without power, internet, and cell phones. Slowly, our world would return to its previous state. However, the way we live, and who we are, will have changed. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please like and subscribe for more content, just like this.